Let's discuss measuring equipment. There are, for very small quantities, measuring spoons that we use that typically come in a set of four. Would be 1 tablespoon, which is the largest measure, 1 teaspoon, a half teaspoon, and a quarter teaspoon. Some sets will have additional measures, but in a standard set of measuring spoons, those are the 4 units you'll most commonly see. Dry measuring cups typically come in units of 1 cup, half cup, 1/3, and 1/4. Again, you can get specialty sets that have additional measures, but in a common set, those are the four sizes that you will see. With both of these type of measuring tools, you will always use a straight edge spatula to ensure that your measure is accurate and correct. A liquid measuring cup is also a common and useful kitchen measuring tool. A liquid measuring cup is designed to more accurately measure liquid ingredients such as water, milk, syrup. It allows the liquid to settle and create a meniscus. Perhaps you remember that term from science, and you hunker down and you read at the lowest level of where that water has settled. To use a dry measuring cup, you'll fill the measuring cup with whatever the dry ingredient is. So if it's something like flour or powdered sugar, you will want to use a spoon to fill the measuring cup. If it's something that settles heavy, like granulated sugar, you can just scoop that. That'll be fine. Then you want to level the top of the cup using a straight edge spatula, pour the ingredient into the mixture that you're making, and scrape out the cup if needed. Ingredients like sugar and flour will tend to fall cleanly and completely out of your measuring cup. Other materials like peanut butter will certainly need to be scraped out of the cup and won't fall neatly out. A liquid measuring cup, you always want to set on a flat surface to get an accurate measure. You'll pour liquid into the cup, bend down and check the measurement at eye level. Again, looking for the lowest level of that meniscus. Add more liquid, or remove excess liquid as necessary so that you get an accurate measurement. Then you're going to pour that liquid into whatever it is that you're constructing according to your recipe. And then when we're talking about measuring spoons, for small amounts of liquid, you never measure over the bowl. You always measure over like a garbage bowl or over the sink, because with very, very small measures, there's not a lot of room for inaccuracy. And if you measure too much in the bowl, you can't take it back out. If you're measuring a dry ingredient with measuring spoons, it's the same procedure as a dry measuring cup. So you would fill it, use a straight edge spatula to make sure that your measure is accurate. Again, not measuring over the bowl you're working with. Other measuring techniques that you may find useful in the kitchen. The stick method. When dealing with butter or margarine, they are pre-measured on the wrapper, which is very handy. You can cut 1 tablespoon or 5 tablespoons, and there's no fuss, no muss, nothing to dirty other than a butter knife, and your measuring is done. So it's very simple, and that's called the stick method. The packing method you'll use with things like brown sugar, shortening, peanut butter, things that we need to make sure all the air is out of to get a proper measure. So you'll always use your dry measuring cup for that, and you'll pack down. If it's shortening, it would be fat. If it's brown sugar, it would be the sugar. You'd press it down to get all of the air out of there so that you get an accurate measurement. With brown sugar, you know you did it right if when you turn the cup over, it looks like a little sandcastle. And then measuring by weight. In a professional kitchen, measuring by weight is very common. It's easy, it's quick. In a family kitchen, this is a little more unusual. It's generally simpler to use your liquid or dry measuring cups. But if you do have a kitchen scale at home and you want to try, by all means, you decide on your container. You place the empty container on the scale, and then you hit tare, which adjusts the scale to 0. Then you add food to the container until you have 4 ounces or 1.5 pounds or whatever it is that you need. When you go to the grocery store and you buy meat by the pound, they will be using a scale for that. And at home, if you want to make sure that, like, for example, your hamburgers are exactly a quarter pound, that would be a great use of the kitchen scale.